how did they know us so well and make a
It
special
feels like it was geared to us.
harken back to our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the next nonsense review. I'm Brad Nellis.
I am Scott Honigman.
And today we are talking about none other than the Invader, who happens to be named Zim, and he has a new Netflix movie, and what do we call that, Scott?
It's called Enter the Florpus, I believe, Brandon.
You gotta order a million pizzas, and then I gotta roll around in them pizzas, and that's the story about how I turn into a giant pizza.
Yeah. This is the first Invader Zim animated thing to come out since the show in the early 2000s. I believe it went off the air 2002. And it was just incredible. It was hysterical, and it felt like jumping right back into the show. I know you haven't really seen too much of the show in a while.
I did
Yeah.
when I was a kid, but honestly, the show I probably didn't get its humor too much.
Yeah.
Honestly, it didn't relate to me on a personal level like Teletubbies or the Boobas did. So honestly,
the
Invader
ripe
Zim-
age of 3.
ripe age of 3. No, let's be honest. I was 14.
Okay. My bad. You're 38 now.
Exactly. Yeah. Since I'm 38 now, I definitely more mature, and like tuning into Invader Zim as someone who is above the age of 14. Let me tell you, like, the humor resonated with me personally, spiritually even.
Spiritually, you say.
Yeah, it had that absurdist humor that definitely was a part of the show, and honestly, probably wouldn't work well with Nickelodeon because it's not SpongeBob.
No, it's nothing. Well, when the original show was on the air, it was taken off, I believe, right after Season 1. Season 2 is in development. They took it off the air because of a lot of parent complaints, and it was just considered a very dark show at the time for the network. But they've retained that edginess, I feel, with Enter the Florpus, but I feel like they couldn't bring it to Nickelodeon because the network wouldn't want something like that.
Way too edgy.
It was a little too edgy for Nickelodeon, but Netflix was happy to take it, along with Rocko's Modern Life, the new one. But Enter the Florpus, it felt like a really long episode of Invader Zim that was a little bit more fleshed out than the original, and there were so many good, like, humorous bits and callbacks to the original series.
I know I'm what you would call a Invader Zim noob, as the Minecraft kids would call me.
Yes.
But I do think it did go above and beyond what the show was. It expanded
really did.
upon what was great. Like, they made a Rocko's Modern Life reboot.
The Static Cling.
Yeah, Static Cling, right before this.
Yeah.
And it was very good. It came right to the spirit of the original show. But that felt like it was just a modern TV episode. As good as it was just a TV episode. This felt like definitely a special. It was special.
It felt a little more theatrical and movie-like, mainly because it was definitely longer than Rocko, by a little bit, but it had a coherent story throughout, and it ended well, and it begun right where the show kind of left off, and it feels, when I say it feels like an Invader Zim episode, it's because they explore Zim trying to take over Earth. He's the most inept, being on Earth. How could he take it over? And he actually, in this special, finds a way to, he formulates a plan, and the plan actually goes through this time. But I won't say what happens. Things go awry, and Zim fails in the end. But I felt like in this special, more than the original series, they had Zim feel more like a winner than he's ever felt. And I kind of liked that. And they really kind of showed a side of Dib and Zim's relationship that they haven't really explored too much in the show, because it felt like there were some points in this special where Dim and Zib had like a mutual understanding, and they like respected each other's viewpoints a little bit, but still at the core they're enemies and they never will agree with each other.
I mean, when you have a special, something of a grander scale, you gotta do something a little big, definitely bigger at the stakes, bigger with the interpersonal relationships. And you said it was a more coherent story. I think there's a reason why we're talking about it on Nonsense Reviews. Like,
as coherent as it is.
Yeah, well,
at the
as
same
coherent as it
time.
is, it totally makes no sense. They were just, in the spirit of Invader Zim, just such random, absurdist moments. Like, it's
so
wild.
much. The humor is all over the place, which feels a lot like the show, which is great. But it really is all over the place. Like, there's so many skits and just really quick-witted humor. Like, you know, like Gurr will say a joke in like 2 seconds, and that speed honestly helps the humor a lot, I feel.
The Megaduber Gurr! The most powerful stealth robot in the Urkin military.
He's got chicken legs!
And, I mean, Gurr's not the only character who dishes out those quick-witted remarks, but he definitely is like the same character from the show. Just completely absurd, talking about pudding and pizza and all that Hot Topic crap that made Gurr so popular for sales of the Hot Topic. Anyway.
No, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's like how a lot of people know the show, is because like it has like a cult following, and then there was like merch at Hot Topic for a long time.
Hot Topic, I mean, it's edgy. That's why it couldn't be a Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
That's why the kids who got Shadow the Hedgehog watched that show.
Same fan base.
Same exact fan base.
Hail Shadow, heroes rise again.
The show definitely gets an E10 rating, just like our boy Shadow the Hedgehog.
Just like
for sure.
Our boy Shadow.
Yeah, but oh my god, some of these jokes, and like the best jokes made no sense, but that was most of the jokes, and I felt like at times I wanted to pause because
you were
was
laughing so
too
much.
hard.
This guy was laughing.
I had to rewind.
There were plenty of times we stopped and rewind the special just to catch another joke.
So while it's just total dumbness, like it has layers to it.
Layers! Onions have layers. Ogres have layers.
In some weird, bizarre way.
There's depth. There's depth to it, you know, like you really understand the characters' motives, but at the same time they're so out there and bizarre, and the world they live in is just so nonsensical that it just makes you feel right at home. I don't know. It just feels like something that you and me would really like, even if we had never heard of Invader Zim.
I don't know if the creators know us. I mean, who hasn't listened to Nonsense News Nation on WGBB? Let's be honest.
Our radio show.
But assuming that they didn't, how did they know us so well and make a special
feels like it was geared
that
to us.
harkened back to our childhood? Except I probably needed more boobahs to get it. But harkened back to what we knew about Invader Zim, yet made it appealing for today for our over-the-top humor.
Yeah, there were definitely, you know, what's that called? The intricacies of this special really have, like, you know, modern references too. Like, you know, some people are using cell phones and other technology that we use today, and you know, there are some like references to other shows and stuff, but at its core it still feels like the original show with a little bit more like I feel like the dialogue in this is a little better, well written, a little more well written.
They had many years to come up with the dialogue.
Yeah.
So
and everyone from the original cast is back, I believe. All the voice actors. Richard Horvitz, I think, he plays Invader Zim, and Professor Membrane in this is great too.
Oh my god,
he wasn't like a really predominant character in the series, you know, the original series, but in this special he really shines through a lot. He has a lot of great moments in this special. They give every character a moment to shine. Like when they gave like Gaz when she was in the ship towards the end, and she was like always playing her game. Yeah, now she has the chance to tack ship.
Everyone's favorite character, or even least favorite character, has some sort of moment. Even Minnie Moose.
Minnie Moose. I don't want to spoil that, but Minnie Moose is back in this special and plays a very crucial role. A very important role.
Just the fact that a character named Minnie Moose has such an important role just shows you what kind of special this is.
Exactly.
So
it's a very
honestly,
special.
I want to wrap this up. I'll
Okay.
give you my opinions. So, on Nonsense Reviews, the best thing you'll get for the most part is something so bad it's good. But what if some form of media that we are reviewing is intentionally, like, actually good?
But completely
like, garbage in other senses. Invader Zim and the Flarkin.
Enter the Florpus.
Enter the Flarkin.
Florpus.
Enter the Dragonfly.
Enter the Dragon.
Really brought, I think, what it means to be nonsensical for our podcast. And that being said, I definitely give this the nonsense seal of approval. Scott, take it away. What's your take?
This, like you said on our channel, we're trying to review things that are completely nonsensical, so bad it's good. But with this, it's so obscure, yet at the same time, it's so well written and coherent and hilarious. So this special really proves that something could be so off the wall crazy, but at the same time be enjoyable. And I really hope that this does well, it performs well on Netflix, and maybe they even make some more specials in the future, because I really enjoyed it.
Okay,
there you go.
Enough said. Why are you listening to us? Please check it out. It's on Netflix. If you're into Hulu, just stop. Netflix is right there. It's cheap.
We're not sponsored.
Daredevil's on it. That's pretty cool. People like Stranger Things and Invader Zim. So check it out on Netflix. And we'll see you during the next Nonsense Review. I've been Brandon Ellis.
Scott Honickman.
And stay tuned for more nonsense goodness.